From the word go, we wanted Jijenge to be informative but also fun as a show. And Ocean Soul was kind enough to make this possible for us.
So, what is Ocean Soul? To answer this question, I would ask you a question in return. What happens to your flip-flops or slippers after you outgrow them or wear them out? Well, you might just want to check the East African coast waterways and beaches, killing marine life. Solid waste is an unfortunate legacy of this age. I mean, just think about it. How long do you think of something after throwing it away? It strangely disappears from our minds, and in this case, into Ocean Soul's workshop. They're taking care of our own mess for us. Oh, aren't we lucky?
Well, I mean, our main purpose is, and I would say the ethos of the company up until end of last year, was really focusing on discarded flip-flops that came from the ocean. And I think one thing that's really important for everybody to know, because people think, they're on a boat and they've lost one flip-flop, or they think, they've, it broke and they threw it away. Over 3 billion people in the world, the only shoe they can afford is a flip-flop or a slipper. And so, especially in the emerging hot economies, Malaysia, Indonesia, India, obviously parts of Africa, that is the only shoe that they have. And so eventually those people have to get rid of that shoe because they break down, they disintegrate, and they throw them into dump sites. As you know, in Addis, just 2 weeks ago, we had a major garbage landslide. You heard around the rains put together. Well, 60% of the debris in that overall landslide was rubber or flip-flop.
On getting into the workshop, one of the things we noticed right away are the men and women hard at work and enjoying it. Definitely a glimmer of hope in a country with the highest unemployment rate in the East African region.
We have a whole ecosystem where we purchase flip-flops. So we work with the communities. We've got over 700 people in our ecosystem, if you will, by the time you look at who's getting paid in terms of cleaning up the beaches, cleaning up the waterways, transportation, who's employed here, casual labor that we use, things like that. That ends up being, about 700 people that we impact and feed, if you will.
Ocean Soul has a simple but efficient process of turning rubber waste into art, and we made sure to get ourselves in the mix. From washing, tracing, punching, binding, and even carving. And honestly, it wasn't as easy as it looked.
So unakata tu hivi hadi tokane yote.
Even with clear instructions on where exactly I needed to cut, it still wasn't easy, but to my instructor, piece of cake.
Oh.
Though he assured me I would be a natural in days.
Ni hippopotamus ama nini?
Well, I think he was just being nice.
People don't really realize that, with 3 billion people wearing these shoes, obviously they're going to not last forever because they're about $1, and they're going to end up in the dump site. And they eventually, when the rain comes, they start to slide and they make movement and they block sewage, they block clean water, and they make huge havoc on humans as well as, anything in its way, and eventually it ends up in the ocean and sometimes travels 8,000 kilometers to get to Kenya. So we partner also with a group called Crime Sipoa, which is all about youth and obviously stopping crime, right? So we're working with them to train them. Most of the organization that we're in right now, they're within Community Prison, right? So we're giving them some vocational skills on how to do and make our products, not all the way to the artisan, but to help us. I think for the youth, I think in Kenya, they're extremely entrepreneurial. I think, if Kenya became more advocacy around these social enterprises, you would see more innovation in that space because it gives people a path to do their side hustles, if you will, as we all do in Kenya, that they can start to think about how they can make money from sustainability.
This segment was one of the most informative parts in episode 1 of Jijenge. Social responsibility is seen by many organizations as an obligation they are forced to fulfill. So many of them cut a small fraction of their enormous profits and plant flowers at roundabouts. And planting flowers is not bad. I just think we can do more. I believe with more enterprises having social responsibility as part of their core agenda will be a solution to many of the issues we face today. This is Jijenge.